A Sri Lankan elephant was fighting for its life in the middle of the ocean, 16 kilometers from the shore. It was clear that every minute counted. A patrol vessel of the Sri Lankan Navy was on the verge of returning to port, when experienced sailors noticed something strange that made them exclaim in amazement. This amazing incident happened in the Bay of Bengal during the summer months. Not far from the patrol ship, a large creature was swimming, which they could not immediately recognize. Could it be a relative of the monster from Loch Ness, or perhaps a giant dinosaur that miraculously survived the centuries? When a tentacle appeared above the water, the sailors realized that it was a trunk. An adult elephant was swimming nearby, and its body was underwater, except for the upper part of its back. The only visible part of the body was the trunk, which periodically rose above the water so that the giant could breathe.
As the ship approached, the sailors saw that the elephant was literally exhausted. There was little time left. Ceylon elephants are considered small, compared to others. If the local elephant reaches 3.5 meters and weighs to 5 tons, then its African relative weighs a ton more and is a meter higher. But it is difficult to imagine even a relatively small Ceylon elephant swimming, can move in the water, holding its body and head under the surface, or hold its back and head above the water, breathing through its trunk, like a diver through a snorkel. But, unlike a diver, it is not adapted for diving. The giant is able to dive into water to a maximum of 3 meters, but can stay underwater for no longer than 5 minutes, since it needs a constant supply of air. Powerful legs allow it to swim for up to 6 hours, and huge ears help maintain balance. The average swimming speed is about 5 km/h. There is a recorded case of an African elephant, covering 47 kilometers in 7 hours. Tired of swimming, the animal can relax and lie down on the water, but it is impossible to stay afloat for a long time. It takes too much energy. Why do elephants swim? Sometimes they take a shortcut across a river or lake to get to food or to rest in the shade. They love to splash in the water, spraying each other with fountains, getting great pleasure from it. But our elephant in the Bay of Bengal was far from comfortable. The sailors noticed that he was swimming with his last strength. Helping the giant to get to land was not an easy task, especially considering that he was 16 kilometers from the shore. First, the command was given to direct the ship to the shore. This was reported to the land, and the Navy divers and employees of the Department of Wildlife Protection took part in the rescue operation. They tried to tie the elephant with ropes to lift him onto the ship. This turned out to be not only difficult, but also dangerous, since the giant could accidentally hit the diver with his tusk. But it was clear that the exhausted animal was grateful for the help. Unfortunately, they failed to lift him. After discussion, it was decided to tow the elephant behind the ship, supporting it with ropes. The procession headed for the shore. The difficulty was that the elephant swam unevenly, sometimes slowing down, sometimes speeding up, which every driver who has ever towed a car can understand. At some point, the elephant disappeared under the water, and the rescuers were afraid that it had died. The divers went back into the water. To their joy, the animal's eyes were open, but it had almost no strength left. They supported it, which helped it swim a little, but it was still a long way to the shore, and someone suggested tying large floats around the elephant. Now many buoys supported it, and the tug slowly pulled it forward, preserving the animal's strength. The operation had been going on for several hours. Everyone was tired, and the elephant was moving with its last strength. At some point, a helicopter with journalists appeared, and the noise scared the elephant. It began to go under the water. The divers surrounded him. One climbed onto the elephant's back, and he swam a few more meters to the shallows until he felt the bottom. The 12-hour operation was over. Now the question arose, how did the elephant end up so far out at sea? Experts suggest that the elephant got caught in a strong current while crossing the Kakalai Lagoon, and was carried out to sea. Veterinarians loaded the giant into a van, and took him to a nursery for examination and recovery. People were happy that they saved the animal and named him Uter, which means, saved.